Hi P3s, if you are my student, I need to remind you again. If you get it correct, I'll leave it to you whether or not you want to copy down. If you get it wrong, you need to copy down everything that I write, not just the answer. Okay, everything that I write for the question you must copy down. And then if you do not understand what I've gone through, please WhatsApp me so I can explain to you, or you note it down during the next lesson I'll go through. Okay, let's start at question 15. Okay, so question 15 is showing you two things, X and Y. You do not know if they are living or non-living. They are measured over a period of 6 months in terms of their length, whether or not they have grown. Okay, so they are asking which one is a pencil case. Okay, now pencil case is definitely a non-living thing. It's not alive. So by right, it should not grow. Okay, so if you look at X, it grow, right? Okay, from 20 become 25 and then 35. But Y did not grow, see, it stays as 20. Okay, so you can conclude that Y is the pencil case. So let's write it down. Y is the pencil case because it did not grow. Okay, so you need to mention that didn't grow. You mention that Y is the pencil case. So that's why I told you that you need to memorize the 4 characteristics of living things, because for P3, the 4 characteristics of living things will definitely be tested one. Okay, you will definitely come up for exam. Okay, and they will not be provided during exam. That's why you need to have it in your head. You must memorize it. That is very important. Question B, they ask you what characteristic of the living things Z here is shown. It is feeding, right? It is feeding on the fly, right? That means it is taking food lah. Okay, so the 4 characteristics of living things is they grow, they reproduce, they respond to changes, they need air, food and water to stay alive. These are the 4. So which out of these 4 that you should have memorized, which one do you use for this situation? It is feeding one, so it's talking about food. So you need to mention that animal Z needs food to stay alive. Okay, or you can say needs food to survive, whichever. So the keyword here is food. They need food, and then because they need it to stay alive. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so they are showing you the number of fishes in the fish tank lah. So basically, from January to March, it stays the same, and then suddenly from March to April and April to May, the number increase. There's an increase in the number of fishes. Then after that, it starts decreasing. Or from 15, from May onwards, from 15 fishes, it suddenly dropped to 8, 5, and then 2. Okay? He didn't put in any fish, he didn't take out any fish. Okay, it's mentioned here. So it must be because of natural causes. Something is happening inside the fish tank. Okay, they're asking you what is happening between January to May. They're not asking you from January to August. They're asking you until May only. That means until here. So as I already mentioned, okay, the number of fishes increase. Okay, they are asking what he observed, what he see. They are not asking you why. So you just need to write down what is shown for on the table. Okay, you don't need to explain why that happened. So you need to say that the number of fishes increase. Okay, the keyword here is increase lah. You must mention it. Then they ask you to explain A, why is that so, right? Okay, so obviously the number of fishes increase because they reproduce lah. Okay, because he didn't add in any fishes. Okay, the fishes reproduce. Okay, you need to mention the keyword here, which is reproduce. Then from June onwards, the fishes drop, right? The number of fishes decrease, right? Okay, so they ask you why. Okay, so obviously the fishes has died lah. Okay, sorry, let me rephrase it. Some of the fishes have 5. Okay. Okay, next page. Okay, now they give you some very important clues for questions, and then spores are. Spores come from non-flowering plant. It is a plant, definitely not a fungi because they already tell you that. So this is a non-flowering plant. That's why there's spores on it, because it reproduces by spores. Okay, plant Y, you can definitely see a flower here. Although you don't see any fruits, but flower become fruits, right? So you can deduce that this is actually a flowering plant. So they reproduce by seeds. Okay, so they ask you what are the similarity, right? Okay, there are a few similarity. Okay, we'll just write the one that we can see from the picture on top, because based on the diagram above so you can say plant X similarity, that means what? Same. Plant X and Y both have leaves. Okay, they both have leaves. You can also say plant X and Y both have roots. Okay, you can choose either one. Okay, as you can see, the roots is here. Here it's not very clear, but there's roots there. And of course there's leaves, as you can see. Okay, now of course you can, there are certain other characteristics, like for example they both can make food, but the reason I don't write that down is because they ask you to use based on the diagram above, so you cannot see them making food, so that's why I did not write down, just to be safe. Then I ask you for their differences, right? Okay, let's write down. You cannot talk about the size of the leaves because they already mentioned that do not compare size. Okay, so you must talk about other characteristics. So you can say plant X does not have flower, but plant Y do. Okay, because that's what we can see from there. Okay, you don't have to talk about fruits because it's error, because there's no fruit shown on either plants. Okay, I mean, based on your knowledge from science, okay, from your textbook, you should know that as long as there's flower, that means it will bear fruits eventually, because flower turn into fruits. Okay, next question. Okay, classification. Okay, classification, if you remember, is grouping. It's the first thing that you learn in primary 3, or in fact the first science topic that you learn. Okay, you have A, B, C, and D. You do not have to know the fruits, don't worry. Okay, have a few seeds. Okay, so B has a few seeds. Okay, correct. Fruit A have 1 seed. As you can see, it only has 1 seed. Okay, since they are talking about seeds, that's why all these 3 tables, their heading must be talking about seeds as well. Okay, then for D, it have many seeds. Okay, then they ask you, C is supposed to be put under heading. C only has 1 seed, right? So C should be here. Okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, let's look at question 19. Plant Z, as you can see, plant Z has fruits, so it is a flowering plant. Okay, and all plants has leaves. So they are asking you for plant Z, okay, is it living A, B, C, or D? So let's look at the diagram. So it's a plant, right? So yes, it has leaves. All plants have leaves. Does it has fruits? Yes, as you can see from the picture, there's fruits on top. So it's D lah. Also, you must also mention using the 2 characteristics in the flow chart. So you can say living in D. Okay, and the 2 characteristics is what we have just mentioned. Okay, plant Z have leaves and Okay, let's go back and check. Yeah, have leaves and have fruits. Okay, now let's look at the next one. So this one is a fish. Let's look at fish. Fish, does it have leaf? No. Fish is not a plant, so no leaves. Does fish live in water? Yes. So this is B, so use a ruler, go and match it with B. Okay, then this is a fungi. Mushroom is a fungi. Fungi are not plants. Okay, remember that. So fungi don't have leaves. Fungi don't live in water, so it's A. Okay, next page. Okay, let's look at a suitable heading for group A and B. Look at question 20. They are basically grouped into two groups. So what are they grouped based on? Group A says that group A, you cannot group them based on animal groups because pigeon is bird, mosquito and grasshopper is insect, lion is a mammal, toad is an amphibian, crocodile is a reptile. So it cannot be based on their animal groups. Outer covering also no, because pigeon is feather, mosquito, grasshopper is exoskeleton. Okay, what about body parts? Okay, yes, this one have wings. They all have wings. Okay, the other group doesn't have, so you can write that down. Have wings, does not have wings. Okay, so basically when you group something, they must all have the same characteristic, they must all have the same thing, and then the heading must be opposite of each other. So group A you say have wings, group B you must say no wings, opposite you cannot say group A have wings, then you say for example you say group B feed on animals only. You cannot write that down because the heading must be opposite of each other. Okay, this is a dolphin. They ask you, should you group this animal under A or B? So as we know, dolphins don't fly dolphins don't have wings They have fins but they don't have wings. So they belong to group B because group B doesn't have wings. So group B, it does not have wings. Okay, I also realized that there's another way you can group it. You can also group them based on fly and do not fly. Okay, if this is the way you group it, then you can say that instead of saying does not have wings, your explanation can be, or you can say animal killed does not fly. Okay, dolphins don't fly. The next one, let's look at question 21. Okay, as you can see, this is an insect. Then the monkey, right? Monkey is a mammal. Okay, so insects most important characteristic is 3 body parts and 6 legs. So 6 legs, and this living thing here from the picture, as you can see, have wings, have feelers. The feelers is very tiny but it's here. Okay, no tail so it's animal B. Okay, mammal 4 legs. Okay, although they are very closely related to us. Okay, but they still walk on 4 legs. 4 legs also. No wings correct. I don't think there's any monkeys that have wings. Okay, so this is also correct. No feelers also. Okay, there's a tail there. Okay, C will resemble more of a monkey as you can see. Okay, there's a tail here. Then they ask you, can the fish be represented by animal D? So let's go and check. So fish have a outer covering of scales, and they all live in water. So D, 2 legs immediately wrong already but let's just go and look on also 2 wings okay, fish don't have wings, right? They only have fins. No feeler also okay, but they have tail but it's not acceptable already. So there's a lot of reasons you can write. There's 3 reasons. Okay, but first you must mention no, because they ask you can it be grouped under D. So no. Okay. You can say the first reason is you can say animal D does not have wings. You can also say animal D does not have wings. Animal D does not have tail. Okay. Sorry, the last one is not tail. No, does not have feelers. Okay, let's look at question 22. So he left his red towel and then he went overseas, and when he came back he realized there's all these dark patches. Okay, so that's your mole. Ask you, why does hanging the red towel on a towel bar prevent the dark patches from growing? To answer that, you must first know that in order for mole to grow, they need air, warmth, and water. So when you hang the wet towel, right, definitely it remove one of the things here. That's why it cannot grow. Okay. The thing that you remove here is the water. Okay. This is a bit tough because actually we haven't learned this. Basically, the water can evaporate. Evaporate is that means the water can disappear into gas. Okay, so without water, the mole cannot grow. Okay, so this question is actually not very applicable for P4, P3. Okay, so you can say that the towel, because you haven't learned the term evaporate, right? So you just say dry. The towel will become dry and the mole cannot grow without water. Okay. Let's look at question 23. Sarah needed to wear spectacles to help her read in a room. However, she tends to fall when she runs. Okay, she always falls when she runs. Okay, so the material must be strong. It cannot break easily. So they ask you which material is better. Okay, so I don't know if you all know this. There is actually 2 kinds of glass lenses. One is 2 kinds of lenses. One is made of glass, one is made of plastic. Okay, so of course you should know that the glass is very fragile. It will break easily. Okay, so if it falls easily, it is better for you to use plastic. Okay, because it is stronger, not so fragile. So you must also mention the properties of the material. So say spectacles. Why? It is made. Sorry. Plastic is stronger and will not break easily as compared to glass. Okay, so the keyword that you have to write here is you have to mention that the plastic is stronger. Okay, and spectacles why. Okay, so now she wants to buy a new water bottle, and the key thing is that she must check the water inside without opening. Without opening. That means the material must be transparent. Transparent, that means you can see through it. It means light can pass through. And clear plastic does that. Metal is opaque. That means you cannot see through. So they ask you A or B, which one should you use? Okay, so obviously you should use the transparent one. Okay, so bottle B, then you just have to say clear plastic is transparent. Okay, you need to mention the word transparent because it's the property. That's the key word here. Okay, next page. So basically what he's testing here is he's testing the strength. How do I know that? Because he's finding out which one break more easily. This one you only put 50 gram and then it break already. It break first. When it break first, that means among the 3 it is the weakest. whereas this one 70 gram break last, or you can say it break with the most amount of weight lah. So that means it is the strongest. So they're asking you what properties is it testing, right? So as I was telling you, it's testing the strength. Okay, for this question is a bit tricky. They put this right, that means there can be more than one answer, or it can only be one answer also, depends. So the answer can be one of them, or all of them, or two of them. Okay, that's why there's a bracket S there. Okay, the key thing is this thing weighs 56 gram. Okay, he wants to hang something on it. So as you can see, this one, it cannot hang more than 50 gram. When you hang 50 gram, you already break. Obviously, if you hang 56 gram, it will definitely break. So you are not supposed to use material Z. Whereas X and Y can support more than 56 gram mark. So you can use either material. So we write it down. Okay, they didn't ask for explanation, so no need to write that down. Okay, but if they ask, you just have to say string X and Y can support more than 56 gram. Okay, this question is continuation from the previous. Okay, now okay, material S is 30 gram, material T is 30 gram. Let's look at X and Z. So just now we already found out, right? X can support up to 60 gram, Z can support up to 50 gram. So it's a continuation from the previous question. So basically, X is hanging on to 30 gram as well as the weight at the bottom, whereas Z is only hanging on to the weight at the bottom. So let's go and look at the previous one, X and Z. X can support up to 60 grams, Z can support up to 50 grams. So this comes 60 gram, 50 gram, and then they'll break. Okay, so Z will not break because it's only supporting 30 gram right not? So Z didn't break, but S break because S don't just support 30 gram, it support this weight here and this weight here. It support more than 60 gram. Okay, obviously therefore X will break. Okay, so since now you know that X is the one that break, he asks you what changes can you make so that the strings will not break. Okay, so obviously X is not able to support, right? So let's go and look for another material. So if you look at the three materials, Y is capable of doing that It can support up to 70 gram. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, replace string X with string Y. Okay, again they didn't ask for explanation, right? So you don't have to write that down. Okay, if they do ask for your exam, you just have to say that string Y can support up to 70 gram without breaking. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. Remember, if you are not sure, please ask me. Okay, for my students. Thank you.